Speaking after Stephanie will be Ms. Gena, another graduate of considerable accomplishment. She too is a member of AOA and served her classmates as president of the class of 2022 and co-editor of the Skull, the yearbook. In recognition of her contribution, she was awarded yesterday with the School of Medicine Service Award as well. Ms. Tauber will begin her residency in general surgery at Cooper Medical School of Rowan University in July. It's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Vagbeni and Ms. Tauber to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Gessa. I want to start by saying how incredibly honored I am to be speaking here today. With the support of so many members at the mentors at the Lewis Katz School of Medicine, my classmates, and my family, I've been able to accomplish goals I never would have dreamed of, including speaking at our graduation today. I am unbelievably grateful. As we end this pivotal stage of immense achievement in our lives, it is important to consider this quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. This is the judgment. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? At one of the first doctoring sessions, we were given a survey to gauge a baseline of how altruistic and community-serving we were, given the widespread concern in academic medicine that medical school can leave students jaded in the end. It easily could have, with all of the tests of our patients in mental and physical endurance, standardized testing, emotional stress of empathizing with patients, and countless times of questioning ourselves, whether we really belonged in medicine and whether this is something we really wanted to do for the rest of our lives. We've all been pushed to our limits. Classmates, no matter how you think you would answer these survey questions now, I want you to consider your legacy as doctors. Find joy in helping others with the skills you're working so hard to sharpen. Look forward to making a positive impact on your communities and in the world. Everyone is here today to celebrate all that we've accomplished thus far, with full faith and confidence that we will achieve amazing things in our careers as physicians. As I look at all of you, I see talent, immense promise, and possibility. I see doers and healers who truly understand what Dr. King meant when he said, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I see physicians and scientists who have already chosen to walk in the light of creative altruism. And that means you are well on your way to a meaningful legacy fulfilled. I'm so proud of all of you, and thank you again for having me speak today.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for that introduction, Dr. Gusset and Stephanie. It's been a lot of fun to serve with you. I also want to thank my classmates for putting their trust in me 4 years ago. It's been an absolute honor and a unique privilege to serve as your president, crossing paths with so many of you. I must also publicly thank my partner, Bobby, who at this point probably deserves an honorary pass on both step tests for all the questions I have made him do with me. He was my light in the darkest times, for 9 years, never once doubting my wildest dreams. I'll begin with a story. My first Friday of medical school, on the way to anatomy in fresh new temple scrubs, a man yelled to me, frantic, "Are you a doctor? That woman's just been hit by a car." She was lying in the middle of Broad Street. I ran to her with almost no medical knowledge, unable to do much besides check for serious bleeding, thankfully there was none, and hold her hand until the ambulance arrived. We didn't even speak the same language, but I knew from the way she kept squeezing my hand that she appreciated my kindness in this horrible moment. I don't even think she noticed my lack of clinical skills. These 4 years have challenged us in ways we never could have imagined. We knew we'd spend late nights grinding in the library, miss some family moments, and be pushed to our absolute limits, staying awake for 30 hours at a time on the trauma service. But none of us had any idea we'd have to learn all of clinical medicine amidst a global pandemic, a collective social reckoning, and arguably the most high-stakes presidential election of our lives. When the world shut down and death rates soared while we studied for step 1, pretending to care what chromosome the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase gene was on, we also learned that it was okay to not always be okay. We and countless providers around us faced hard decisions about seeing our families, mental health versus physical health, impossible choices we never thought we'd have to make, all while isolated from the friendships we'd spent 2 years fostering. But it gave us more compassion for ourselves and for one another. We knew we weren't alone in being alone, wrestling with these tough choices. When clinical rotations began, it was as if we spent no time apart at all. Our class stuck together. We had one another's backs, seeing an extra patient if the other med student was late, sharing all of our epic note templates, whatever we could do to make lives easier for our peers. It was clear deep empathy had grown from this collective trauma. Almost a fifth of Americans have begun therapy in the last 2 years. To me, this is a nationwide sign of healing, the desire to recover, to work through this tough moment in history, show our vulnerability, and emerge stronger than before. When the world falls apart, we are blessed with the opportunity to rebuild better together. I'm so proud of the way our class has grown, the way we've developed into physicians who are in the unique position to help people heal, to help our country heal, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I believe that has to start with basic kindness. There will be days in residency we feel as helpless as I did on my 3rd day of medical school, holding that woman's hand as cars whipped around us. But even then it was clear. Kindness always makes the difference. It bridges us together as people, regardless of titles, training, or having anything in common. As Dean Goldberg's story illustrated this morning, the beating heart of medicine, that urge to help, is inside all of us. It's on us now to reach out with kindness in our hearts to all of our future patients and colleagues. I can't wait to see what our class will accomplish.